Welcome back, Tribe. I wanted to do a fast one on here about the Russell Brand situation because just how insane it's gotten in the last 24 hours. And we'll get way more in depth in a later video, but let's just begin with this portion of it.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. In recent years, Russell Brand's reinvented himself as an anti-establishment commentator online. He has 6.6 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, 11.2 million followers on Twitter, 6 million fans on Facebook, and they're all very loyal to him. Millions of Brand's fans have been crying conspiracy since this scandal broke, led by influential figures like Elon Musk, Jordan Peterson, and Andrew Tate. Why do so many believe that he's a victim of a big conspiracy? We'll discuss this. I'm joined by the controversial influencer Pearl Davis, and from New York, the, equally controversial influencer Louise Mensch. Let's call you both the same title, shall we? All right, let me start with you, Pearl. I've been watching this. It's very interesting how this debate has come down now, with a lot of people on the conservative right in the main, but basically saying they believe he's been deliberately targeted and taken down to silence him because he's been promoting what they see as conspiracy theories.
I mean, it certainly seems like that. I mean, I think you just start to see the same thing over and over again, where prominent figures like the Tate brothers, right, come out and then all of a sudden they have all these allegations from 10 years ago and there's no evidence. They don't go to the police, and all of a sudden it's believe women with no evidence. And it becomes like trial by the media, which I just think is wrong.
But is it right to equate his YouTube channel, his exploration of various theories about COVID or whatever, is it really realistic that a 4-year investigation by two mainstream media companies is in any way connected to that or a desire to silence him?
Again, so look, man, he just said it right there. Investigation by mainstream media news outlets, not the cops. It's like CNN and some subsidiary doing a investigation and smearing somebody's reputation. Not only did they smear, this is what's weird, is that every news outlet everywhere was ready with this story all at the same time. And then, funny enough, after it breaks, right? It's not like one news outlet broke the story. Everybody breaks it all at the same time. Everybody's prepared. It's so weird how coordinated it is. But what makes it weird is that despite being allegations, he gets demonetized. I mean, this is what's happening with, or already happened with Tate. This is what's happened with other creators in the space. And it's not even, this is just coming after him because you could say his voice got too loud. He's talking about too many topics you're not supposed to say out loud. And the way they come after you, the way they try to do Joe Rogan, but he was married, so they made him a racist. But if you ever had a past sexually active like Tate did, like Russell did, which he's very open about his past drug use and his sexual activities, escapades, whatever, they immediately go after you with the R word. What's wild is that only allegations are needed now to completely get demonetized, to have bank accounts shut down, to lose sponsors, to lose events. He got kicked out of and canceled all his events, everything he was doing. Everybody all of a sudden turned their back on him over allegations by the equivalent of like a CNN or some other shitty media network that we know is just propaganda. It's another extension of the government. Their reason was violating our creator responsibility policy. If a creator's off-platform behavior harms our users, employees, or ecosystem, we take action to protect the community. So that's corporate speak for whenever we feel like getting rid of you, we will. Somebody can lob an accusation. We're supposed to live in a society with democratic values of innocent until proven guilty. And allegations have already proven you guilty, and financial repercussions follow not even 24 hours when the news story broke. Wild. They try to do Joe Rogan the same because he was talking about jabs. They try to do Tate the same because he was also talking about certain things, jabs, and being up in Sweden and stepping on people's money. And he's talking about the military-industrial complex, profiteering from multinational corporations, perpetual states of crisis that are engineered for profit over people. Look, man, you guys have to understand, election season is about to be underway. They need to tighten the clamp now and get ahead of anybody that disseminates information counter to the establishment. This is the game. I try to stay away from politics for this very reason, just because when the weight of the system comes down on you, you have no recourse unless you're already worth hundreds of millions. And even then, they make your life hell. And even then, you could get put in jail for months at a time, not knowing what's going to happen next. All on the words of a few people that don't reveal themselves, never went to the cops. They only went to the media first. And now your life gets turned upside down. And we're supposed to believe these anonymous sources. Anonymous sources. In a weird way, I believe that if even Joe Rogan had a promiscuous past sexually, and he wasn't married for as long as he was, and a family man and all this, they would have went after him with the same type of allegations instead of trying the racist route. And that failed spectacularly and backfired on him. He's in a pretty much untouchable position, being that he's a quote family man. It's like a win today, because if you have any inkling of a sexual history, you're an easy mark. They will literally scrub through, and these people have said, Russell, Tate, others, they call my friends, they call my family, they try to contact people from my past, they try to offer them money in exchange for information. And you don't think if somebody's offering you money in exchange for information, that there's some ulterior motives here. Like, for example, what if I offer you even more money for you to say something that didn't happen? Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. That's another example that these people don't mention in believing these anonymous sources right away. That man got blacklisted from Hollywood and his career got absolutely destroyed. It wasn't until the trial came out, showed how evil Amber Heard was, that we got to see what was actually going on behind the scenes. Up until that point, it was believe Amber Heard absolutely crushed Johnny Depp's reputation. He's a monster. He's evil. He's everything that's wrong with Hollywood. Blacklist him from everything. Yada, yada, yada. Allegations. It's happening again. If you're a thorn in the machine's side, you get crushed. This is the reality of the situation. This is why so many creators move to Rumble. This is why so many do private communities like we're trying to do, or shirts like we're trying to sell, because the YouTube game is not going to be here much longer in the way that it is. If you don't believe me, they've also started censoring videos from doctors talking about stuff like diets.
Well, it's official. YouTube has just now banned anything related to health that doesn't align with the general medical consensus.
So that's Dr. Eric Berg. He was the one we did the video with caffeine. He uses pretty much scientific data that backs, everything is empirical that he uses, research and data. And I'll just read the little snippet from his description. YouTube has just banned anything related to health that doesn't align with general medical consensus, whatever that means. If any information related to health does not agree with the World Health Organization, the video won't necessarily be taken down, but it may be hard to find. Essentially, they kill the video. Not only do they demonetize it, but they hide it from you. Only subscribers may see it, maybe. So you could upload a video, you usually get 100,000 views. You upload this restricted video, you might get 1,000. That's it. And you don't get paid anything. It's like pennies on the dollar. You could make, say, for example, for easy math, 1,000 on a video, now you might make $10. That's what they do. They crush you. Apparently, one of the videos they went after him for was ketosis, because he says a lot of people are searching for the keto diet. However, many medical professionals don't understand nutritional ketosis. Many times, doctors don't get training in nutrition or alternatives. Yet, these are the people that get to control this information. Healthy keto is not toxic or dangerous. So they're banning videos now on talking about diets. If you talk about probably carnivore diet and you push that, you're getting demonetized, deplatformed. If you talk about keto, you're either getting demonetized or deplatformed. If you talk about the election, we already know where that goes. If you talk about jabs, you know where that goes. If you talk about politics in general and you're not aligned on the correct side, you know where that goes. YouTube is just going to end up being like a how-to website. People traveling, people doing exercises, degenerate music videos where people are dancing half naked, but that still gets fully monetized. Not a problem. Pushed to little kids. Trending at the top. They have a separate algorithm for Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, all the fucking degenerates. And your little kids get to watch that. If you're pushing certain agendas under certain flags, your content gets pushed to the top. If you mention anything about the differences between men and women, you get pushed to the bottom. Any creator knows that the direction YouTube's heading will basically clamp down on almost anybody that doesn't do tutorials, product reviews, unboxing videos, and other stupid shit of that nature that's completely disconnected from the reality of what people really want to talk about. Essentially, consumerism and hedonism. Back to Russell, though.
How would they care?
It just seems like they always just go after him. I don't know why.
All right, let me bring in Louise. I mean, I don't really follow this theory because I don't understand why mainstream media would really care if Russell Brand has millions of people that want to watch his stuff. I mean, I've watched some of them occasionally. It's not always right-wing people. He has left-wing people on as well. It's quite interesting, some of it. I was going to get him on my show and maybe do his. So I don't really understand this theory that somehow it's all a deliberate campaign to silence it.
What, did they have a time machine, Piers? Like, did they have a time machine to go back in time 4 years before he had this YouTube channel at all, and before he started tacking hard to the alt-right, and then somehow they decided that they were going to get him? No, they didn't. And I think the key thing here is not to confuse two separate issues. The first is the issue of putative criminality of a criminal case that, as your previous guest said, will almost certainly never be brought because this is historical stuff, and saying, which I think you're saying, I disagree with you, that the rest of us can't decide that these women are victims. Now, I don't believe in the Me Too movement. I have a problem with the idea that accusation is the same as conviction. That's not true. I believe these specific women because I heard what they have to say and I find them credible in a way that I don't find other accusers credible. And I think that's the difference. It's not one size fits all.
Then go to the police. Like, why are you going to the media and not the police? You know, I mean, at the end of the day, the media, like, they run stories, and I just don't think it's fair that we do trial by the media.
Well, except that, as I said earlier, Harvey Weinstein is in prison because women went to journalists and then the police.
Well, they should go to the police.
Yeah, but it can be sometimes women feel, we just had the...
Why would you? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
you go to the journalist instead of the police?
But we live in a country here where only 1% of allegations lead to conviction.
Well, maybe only 1% were telling the truth. I don't know.
Does that seem likely?
Could be.
Unlikely.
I don't know.
It says to me the justice system is wrong in the way we investigate these things. Louise?
Look, Pearl is somebody who believes that women shouldn't even have the vote. Okay, let's just leave it there.
Yes.
You heard in your own show today, Piers, one of your earlier guests who was actually defending Russell Brand said that she had been raped and the police treated her very nicely, but when you pressed her and said, then what happened? We heard what happens all the time to women that make these accusations. The director of public prosecution said there were two people in the room. I can't prove anything, and they didn't bother to bring a case
you need
against
evidence.
the guy.
But, like,
and that was somebody who was defending Russell Brand.
You're just assuming they're telling the truth.
I don't think it's
assuming that they are
where I disagree with Louise.
I listen to them.
I don't think it is sensible to automatically believe any accusers about anything. My natural journalistic head says to me, that's a dangerous road to go down. We've seen time and again cases in this country where people have turned out to be completely innocent, who were the subject of massive publicity over bogus allegations.
Well, and you're telling me that a guy that has women throwing themselves at him 24/7 had to rape somebody? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I don't think
women coming out
I don't think you
time.
can make the leap that couldn't happen.
I didn't say it couldn't. I'd say it's very unlikely. Like, is Elon Musk, is he going to rob a bank? Probably not. I think it's certainly less likely, but he could do it.
Louise, final word to you, quick.
He had thousands of women, but he decided he had to go and pick up a 16-year-old from school. Look, I don't have to see him convicted in a court of law to believe these accusers, because these specific accusers are credible.
Okay.
Their stories are credible.
Why are they credible?
We've got to leave it there.
That's a perfect question. Why? What makes them credible? They're anonymous. I've seen the stories. You saw a report by a mainstream media organization, not the cops. There's no paperwork filed. There's no docket to look through. There's nothing official. These are just allegations. We live in a wild world, man. In the comments says, I don't have to see him convicted in a court of law to believe these accusers because these accusers are credible. So these accusers appearing credible to her is all the proof she needs to have him convicted. No fair trial, no innocent until proven guilty, no evidence, just her belief. Think about that. We'll weigh in on a bunch of this because the story's still unraveling and I have probably 8 videos that I want to go through with everybody. But from what I've noticed, man, I mean, look, this is perfect. This is from The Hill. RFK Jr. team thwarts possible assassination attempt. Something that you guys haven't followed either is RFK Jr., again, labeled a conspiracy theorist, anti this and that, because he cites a ton of data. The Biden admin denied him Secret Service detail. From what I've heard and read, it's the first time in history where a presidential hopeful was denied Secret Service detail. Are you starting to piece things together? Yeah, just wrapping this up. We know what time it is. Elections are around the corner. Messages need to be disseminated. Unfortunately, when you have a channel that reaches hundreds of millions of people and keeps growing despite the platform holding you back, means it's time to take action. Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say other than thank you guys for all the support. Everybody that buys shirts, everybody in the private community. As I mentioned last year and the year prior when we first started Tribe Report and got canceled ourselves, quite literally, they demonetized our channel. They gave us strikes and completely crushed our reach. I mentioned that as time goes on, they're going to inch the line in the sand further and further and further along. If you've watched Russell Brand's YouTube channel, he did not violate any policies. So then they went after him for corporate speak, anything you did outside of YouTube, which he didn't because it's only allegations from unknown sources by a media company. But that's enough. That is rock solid legal proof in the eyes of corporations. Okay, so we know what world we live in. And even if you're on the left and absolutely can't stand Russell Brand, you at least have to pause for a second and think, hey, maybe we're going a little too far. What evidence do we have besides he said, she said? What proof? Is there an active official police investigation going on? Even if you're not a fan of the guy, you have to at least believe in due process, do you not? Has common sense shifted so much that we can't even sit at the table and say, let's wait for the evidence? There's nothing here yet until the police get involved. Let's wait and find out what really happened once we investigate officially with police officers, with the law involved. Man, oh man. This is our, quote, democracies at work, man. Are you starting to see the veil coming apart? The illusion doesn't feel so free in the free world, does it? See you boys on the next one. Appreciate you guys. If you have a minute, please head over to legionofmen.store and grab yourself some cool merch as well. We have a bunch of limited edition designs, brand new stuff on the way, and all the proceeds go to supporting the channel. We don't want to be sponsored by corporations where we have to submit videos for review, have our speech impeded, or push any products that we don't use. So thank you so much to everybody that goes into the shop. Again, it's legionofmen.store. I'll put it up here for you guys. First time customers get a 10% off, and we have a bunch of great designs by artists from the community that watch the channel and support. They get proceeds as well, a percentage of everything that gets sold. So community funded through and through. And it's no synthetic fibers on any on our products. We're using cotton only, of course. I got your back from all those chemicals from synthetic fibers. Again, appreciate you guys.